All right, and then let's move on to roll call.
Yes, Director Branning,
Here.
Pleasanton alternate Testa,
Here.
Director Josie,
Here.
and Chair Hubbard is absent. And just to put on the record that it was voted to have Evan as our temporary chair and Jean and Testa, Jean and, sorry, Jean and, Julie voted, and it passed. Okay, go ahead.
All right, and so moving on to meeting open to the public. Do we have any public comments?
No, we didn't receive any public comments.
All right, and I see no one in the audience. So closing public comment. We'll move on to item 4. So the minutes of the April 22nd meeting of the Projects and Services Committee.
Move approval.
I'll second. All right, all in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? Any abstentions? All right. Motion passes unanimously. Moving on to item 5, award of on-call task order number 4, hydrogen fueling station, hydrogen fuel cell bus deployment, project management and technical consulting.
Great, thank you, Chair Branning. Good afternoon, committee members. This is a very exciting contract that we are recommending be awarded to support our entrance into the hydrogen world. Dave Massa, our capital projects manager, will walk you through the staff report. We are joined remotely by Nikki Rinaldi El Abed, and she is with the Center for Transportation and the Environment, or CTE, and she can help answer any questions. With that, go ahead, Dave.
I'm glad you had a problem reading that, because it took me a while to read this. And so staff is requesting that the committee recommend to the board of directors the authorization allowing the executive director to execute task order number 4 with CTE. Before the committee, we have a task order between LAVTA and CTE to provide technical consulting, project management, and all-around guidance to LAVTA as we prepare to implement our innovative clean transit plan, which aims to have 100% zero emission hydrogen powered fleet by the year 2034. CTE, a nonprofit organization, is a industry leader with extensive experience in advancing sustainable transportation solutions on numerous projects. Their expertise in providing engineering, planning, and project management solutions to transit agencies has contributed to the development of numerous transit plans for fleet and the deployment of more than 1,100 zero-emission vehicles in California alone. LAVTA has experience working with CTE on several projects, including developing the agency's zero-emission bus transition plan, as well as our most recent joint endeavor, the agency's low-no grant funding application, the results of which we are still awaiting, and we have our fingers crossed. Challenges faced by the agency on this project and why we need it. Transitioning to hydrogen buses from diesel electric hybrid buses involves several complex considerations, such as fuel storage options, both capacity and state, liquid or gaseous, dispensing methods, pressure requirements, fuel cell sizes, and the communication protocols between the buses and the fueling station. LAVTA, to determine LAVTA's needs, CTE will provide highly specialized technical studies. From these studies, LAVTA and CTE will develop the design for construction and deployment for both the Atlantis hydrogen fueling station, as well as the initial procurement of hydrogen powered buses. These studies include conducting bus and route analysis, modeling which is used to optimize the performance and efficiency of transit buses. What size fuel cell do we need? Perform a hydrogen demand analysis to evaluate the energy requirements for the fuel cell buses based on LAVTA's schedule. Essentially, how much hydrogen do we need to have on hand at any time in order to maintain service. Develop a hydrogen fueling station and fuel cost model to ensure the station aligns with LAVTA's current and anticipated service levels. From this, CTE will develop a fuel delivery schedule scenario. This will help us plan for future needs. Once all these studies are complete, CTE will collaborate with LAVTA on the bus procurement and build phase of the project, overseeing all aspects of the production from a selected OEM, ensuring LAVTA's adherence to FTA's quality management system. Concurrently, CTE will support LAVTA with the design, procurement, and build of the hydrogen fueling station. This will include preparing RFP documents, providing ongoing support throughout the RFP process. Once the fueling station and the hydrogen buses are delivered, CTE will work with both the bus manufacturer and the fueling station supplier to commission the fueling station for operation. Upon successful commissioning, LAVTA will follow CTE developed processes for bus and infrastructure deployment, including post-delivery inspections, acceptance testing, workforce development, and performance validation. Finally, to close out the project, CTE will conduct a comprehensive evaluation of the performance of the deployed hydrogen-powered buses by collecting, analyzing, and reporting on KPIs over a 12-month period. Financial impact. Funding of this project is included in LAVTA's fiscal 2025 approved capital budget. These funds will be applied over a 3-year period as various tasks progress for a total cost of $676,000. At this point, I'm open to any questions.
Thank you. Do you have any questions?
I have one,
Yeah.
And this might predate either of you on this board, but I thought we already did the root analysis when we made the decision to go with hydrogen instead of battery electric.
Yeah, there was some preliminary modeling done to understand what type of range we needed in our buses based on the blocking. This is a little more granular to tell us how much hydrogen we actually need to run the routes that we are going to select to deploy these buses on.
Okay, so well, eventually it's going to be all of the routes,
Yes,
correct?
correct, yes.
So is this about figuring out what size bus for what route or what size fuel cell for each bus? Or are we looking at standard sizes across our entire fleet? I would hope that we're gonna be standardized.
It's kind of all of the above and not exactly.
Okay,
Yeah.
The fuel cell will follow which intended use the bus is for.
mhm,
For example, if we're gonna run the bus on the 680 corridor,
mhm,
then we're gonna use a larger fuel cell because it has to go on a longer range.
mhm.
For buses that are going to be deployed on like a rapid route, we're gonna stay within the Tri-Valley, it will have a smaller fuel cell. And this is also to, as you said, kind of gauge how much hydrogen we need to have at any given time to maintain our entire service
Mhm.
on 100% hydrogen fuel.
Okay, so some of this is just straight up ignorance on my part, but my understanding is that fuel cells are a little bit like a gas tank in that how much they hold. Is that, first of all, is that correct?
We can tap Nikki here, 'cause
Yeah.
this might be out of our wheelhouse.
Yeah, no worries. Yeah,
Yeah.
hi, everyone.
Hi, we wanna,
Yeah, so, sorry, go ahead.
I just wanna, I would think that we would wanna be finding the balance between, not oversizing things. But also maximum flexibility, so that if we, buses come out of service, buses break down for various reasons that have nothing to do with their fuel cell, right? We wanna make sure that we can't run that route because we don't have enough buses that have the big enough fuel cell, right? But
Yeah.
also, I would imagine the bigger the fuel cell, the more the cost, so,
Yeah,
and that's part of what you're gonna advise us on?
yes, yeah, and I was actually part of the transition planning team that helped come up with your initial transition plan. And part of that analysis found that your service is very well suited to fuel cell technologies, which was part of why you all elected to go fully hydrogen. So essentially, the hydrogen tank on board of the vehicle, there's actually several tanks. It's the number of tanks that really changes the range of the vehicles. There's some flexibility in the fuel cell size, as well as there's a battery on board that kind of helps store energy for a short period of time to run the motor as the fuel cell is converting the hydrogen to electricity on board the vehicle. So there likely would be just one standard configuration that could do most, if not all, of your service. The 680 corridor might be one exception where you would have a long range vehicle. However, it would be my expectation, and our modeling will confirm whether or not it's true, but it would be my expectation that most of your service could be run on a standard vehicle size that would be purchased according to your purchase schedule. So your first series of vehicles hopefully would be the same, if not a very similar configuration to the last vehicles that you're purchasing, so that you have that continuity and kind of the ease of parts and labor and familiarity with each of these vehicles. It shouldn't be very different vehicle types from your first deployment to your last. And part of what will help you determine is what is that right configuration for your entire service. And as part of that, we'll also determine how much fuel you'll need, not just at the beginning of your hydrogen fuel cell deployments, but by the end of your entire transition, so that you're not kind of changing your tank over time. We'll plan for you to install a tank at your first fuel cell deployment that will be there throughout the entire service of those vehicles and until you're a fully zero emission facility.
Perfect, thank you.
Thank you, Nikki.
That was the extent of my question. Thank you.
Okay, do you have any questions?
No questions.
No particular questions. The acronym for CTE is very confusing to me because.
Me as well.
California.
Yeah, it's the same as something not so great, but yeah, we're the good CTE.
Ours is a good CTE too. We're both in education, so career technical education is what we ought to, you know, which work meeting am I in? What CTE?
Yeah.
what CTE?
I apologize. Yeah. There's also a health condition called CTE. So at least we're both good CTEs.
It's the Center for Transportation
And the environment.
and the Environment.
Yeah.
It's a mouthful.
Mine's career technical education.
Yes.
But no, I think everything makes sense. So this is 3 years, and just to confirm, through the life of the project, where will this take us when their contract ends? Where should we be at as far as Atlantis is concerned and the transition?
Well, Atlantis is a different project. The CTE is coming under contract with us to support the initial bus procurement and the fueling station.
Okay.
If we are successful at Lono, which I'm hopeful we will be, we've included additional scope for CTE to support that project in that Lono grant.
That's within this 600,000?
No,
That's
that is
within the Lono
yeah,
grant.
that is within the Lono grant, yeah. We don't anticipate needing CTE for the entire deployment of our fuel cell buses, but so we think once we get our feet wet and we get our initial, between 4 and 12 buses in fiscal 26 or 27, once we have our fueling station up and running and we're understanding how things are working, we think we can probably take it over. That's what AC Transit did. They were using CTE and then just got very good at hydrogen, so.
Okay, I think that was kind of the only thing I wanted some clarity on. Are there any other additional comments? Then I'll entertain a motion. I think, yeah, we need a motion. Yeah.
I'll move the staff recommendation that we recommend this contract to the full board. Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
There's
Okay.
nobody in the audience.
Oh, sorry. Is there any public comment? Thank you. All right, all in favor?
Aye.
All right. Opposed, abstains, the motion passes.
Thank you, Nikki.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, moving on to item 6, Tri-Valley Passenger Facilities Enhancement Project On-Call Task Order Contract number 2 for project design and engineering.
I'll introduce this one. It's also a mouthful, but this is the year of the shovel, and the shovel comes with a lot of words attached to it. So Dave Massa will also walk you through this project. This is a design contract to support improving passenger facilities at 3 high ridership stops.
Yes. And, sorry, I'm reading from this. I've been rehearsing all day, but I still couldn't read it because that last one has mouthful. So staff requests that committee recommend to the board of directors the authorization allowing the executive director to execute task order number 2 with Kinley Horn and Associates. In 2022, LAVTA was awarded $2,043,000 by ACTC to fund this project in order to make improvements to the East Dublin Pleasanton BART Station, Las Positas College, and the LAVTA stops. This project focuses on improvements to passenger amenities at these high ridership transit facilities. The goal of these upgrades is to improve the transit experience for our riders. They include premium bus shelters, enhanced lighting, modern real-time wayfinding signs, benches, trash cans, and bicycle racks. The next step is to begin the design of the improvements for each individual facility and then present those plans to the individual property owners. Once those plans have been approved, the project will move into the procurement of equipment and construction services phase. We anticipate that beginning in late 2024. LAVTA has chosen to work with Kinley Horn on this project based upon their extensive experience on similar projects throughout the Tri-Valley, including the Pleasanton BRT Corridor Enhancement Project. Kinley Horn is one of LAVTA's on-call engineering services firm, and their proposal was ranked highest by the evaluation committee in both civil and traffic engineering budget. In late 2020, the cost for project engineering, management, and coordination were estimated to be approximately $260,000. Unfortunately, the 4 years since then, the labor rates have grown exponentially. When staff initially began scoping the project, the first proposal provided by Kinley Horn was $377,160. However, we were able to negotiate with them and realize significant cost savings, reducing that to $346,210. For this task order, Kinley Horn will provide the work for a firm fixed price of $346,210, and we will include a standard 10% contingency. These funds are also included in the fiscal 2025 budget. I don't have any questions or statements.
Do you have any questions? None either. All right, then I'll entertain a motion.
Check the book.
Oh, sorry, public comment. Very tired. I don't know why you picked me to chair.
You
volunteered. I was too tired to. All right, then with no public comment, I'll entertain a motion.
I'll support motion to staff recommendation for project services committee approved forward to the board. Resolution 2024 to execute task order 2 for LAVTA on-call contract Kinley Horn and Associates for not to exceed amount of $346,210 with a contingency amount of 10% to be at the discretion of the executive director.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? The motion passes unanimously.
Thank you all.
All right. Thank you. Moving on to item number 7, how easier to say.
Yeah.
No cost, reduced cost, interagency transfer pilot MOU.
Yeah, very easy to say. Thank you so much. Today we are requesting that the committee forward a recommendation to the board to authorize LAVTA's participation in the no cost reduced cost interagency transfer pilot. The MOU is between MTC and all of the Bay Area transit operators. Just by way of background, this is the second pilot to be implemented from the Fare Integration Task Force and all that transformational blue ribbon work coming out of the pandemic. This is a really exciting, I think long overdue, very long overdue pilot. It allows essentially for free bus-to-bus transfers throughout the Bay Area and allows for a credit of up to $2.75 when transferring from bus to BART or Caltrain or SMART. So this will launch with Clipper 2. So on day one of Clipper 2.0, this free and reduced transfer will take effect. The fiscal impact for LAVTA is minimal. We will be reimbursed and compensated for new transfers that occur on our system between bus systems and between us and BART. And just in case you weren't aware, we already have a very generous fare transfer policy. We offer free transfers from LAVTA to County Connection, WestCat, and Tri-Delta Transit. We also give passengers a $1 discount when transferring from BART. So this will even it out a little bit, giving passengers free transfers on or reduced cost transfers on both ends of the trip. So I'm pretty excited about this, and I am happy to answer any questions.
Do you have any questions?
I have one question, and that is, right now, when we give reduced transfers, we don't get any reimbursement for that, correct? With this new program, will we be getting reimbursement for those transfers?
I don't think so. I need to noodle on that a little, but I think they're establishing a baseline, and anything above that would be a new trip, and then we would be eligible for reimbursement. But I am going to answer.
Can we change our policy in the next month? Stop offering reduced transfers?
I will, we'll have to see what their baseline month is for data collection, but yeah, it's something. If we can become eligible for existing transfers, that would be great for us. I will find out and I'll have an answer at the board.
Yeah. That's it.
No questions.
No. So I just wanted to clarify. So, yeah, I knew we did transfers for most things. I was a little like, what are we actually agreeing on here? My understanding, so this would now let anyone transferring from anyone who signs on to this MOU. So if you took a LAVTA bus, hopped on BART, and then we're in the city, it would be transfer, it would be anyone who's under MTC and signs this MOU.
Yeah, and you're within I think it's a 2-hour window from your first tap.
Yeah.
So you can't, as far as you can get in 2 hours,
Fly that day.
it should work like free. Yeah, it should work. So the bus to bus, as long as they're within a 2-hour window, it should be free.
And then does this work? So said it would work from BART to bus.
Mhm.
Does it work from bus to
Yes,
BART?
yes, you would get the equivalent of the fare that you paid on wheels as a BART
Credit.
discount. Yeah, so it's a $2 fare on Clipper.
Mhm.
And so if your BART fare is $7 to get into Oakland, then it would only be $5.
Okay,
And this
so-
is all on Clipper. If I didn't say that, it is all on Clipper.
So then basically it's free to ride wheels
Yes,
to BART now, if people wanted to, or will be. Once
yes,
this is implemented.
Yeah.
Okay,
That's good.
just to throw it out that's a really cool thing.
it is very good.
So basically, free bus rides to BART effectively
Mhm.
using Clipper 2.0. I love it. I'm very excited about this. I think this is a really cool project. So yeah, enthusiastically support it. All right, with that, is there any public comment?
I did not have any.
All right, then I'll open it up for a motion.
Move that we forward the recommendation to the full board that we sign the MOU, opting us into the transfer program.
So,
Second.
perfect. We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Abstentions? Passing unanimously. All right, moving on to item number 8, a preview of upcoming projects and services committee agenda items.
We have another mouthful in August. We've got an on-call task order with Kinley Horn for the design of our cloud-based transit signal priority. So assuming we can get those funding resolutions approved through MTC, we will be moving forward on that. And
This is the one that we were talking.
yeah, shifting the share of autonomous vehicle. Yep, that's been making its way through all of the necessary approvals. And then we will be looking to purchase some new routers for our buses to improve our real-time connectivity and have better real-time information and And there might be other things on the agenda.
Okay. Anything else?
No, that's all I had.
Perfect. Moving on to item number 9, matters initiated by committee members. Matters initiated.
Not
All right, moving on to item 10. Next meeting date is scheduled for August 26th, 2024. And with that, I will adjourn this meeting.
a.